of Woodhaven. So let me see where I'm going next here. Next up, I have a good friend of mine who wants to call in and talk about a real intriguing event that he has going on here. This is Carl Belanis of Richmond Hill, a very knowledgeable historian in Queens, and I believe you're the president of the Friends of Maple Grove Cemetery. Is that correct?
That's correct, Ed. Thank you.
Welcome aboard. So now here I'm looking at this this ad here for Victoriana Day. Now, where does that name come from?
That comes from the Victorian era, from the time of Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
So the late 1800s.
Uh-huh. and what is? Tell us what is Victoriana Day.
Well, it's an event that's going to take place, sponsored by the Friends of Maple Grove, and it's going to happen at Maple Grove Cemetery. As you know, over the years, the Friends of Maple Grove has honored and shown a great respect for the people who are interred at Maple Grove, having the concert for the Levines, or having the jazz concert in honor of Jimmy Rushing. We're having a puppet show tomorrow. It's a puppet workshop, and it's in honor of Shannon Tavares. And Shannon Tavares was passed at the age of 11. And she's at Maple Grove, and she was an actress and a singer, and she performed Nala in Lion King, and you know Lion King is a puppet type of show. So in her honor, we're putting on this puppet workshop where kids can come and they'll be creating puppets, and it's a wonderful little program that we had it last year as well. And so we're honoring all these people. But now I also wanted to honor the time period that the cemetery evolved in Queens in the 1875, the height of the Victorian era. So what we're going to do is create a 3-part program on Saturday, April 27. At 2 o'clock, we're going to have a lecture series that I'm going to put together, and it's going to talk about the Victorian era, funeral social practices, the superstitions of that time. We have volunteers who are going to come dressed in full Victorian outfits, and even one person is going to come in full mourning Victorian outfit, totally in black, which was the custom of the time. We're having Victorian jewelry from that time period, and in fact, we have a great business that opened up in Forest Hills near the cemetery, and that's Go Antiques. And there's a gentleman there, a young gentleman by the name of Gabriel, who has this wonderful antique shop. And he volunteered to bring his Victorian jewelry that he knows so much about, and he's even going to dress in a top hat and everything.
Wow!
And he's gonna and it's fascinating, Ed. You talk about hair jewelry. Who talks about hair jewelry today? And it's actual bracelets and necklaces made out of hair. From the time period, the Victorian time period, that's how they would honor a person. They take the hair, and then they make these needle points, and they make these bracelets, and they make these earrings. And so we're going to have a display of that as well. And then we were very fortunate to have Denny Daniels, who runs the Museum of Interesting Things. And he's going to come and display a couple of Victorian items, including, I believe he said, a Victorian embalming kit. And so that's the first part. That's just the first part. And then the next part we'll have a walking tour through the Victorian section. And then I'm going to explain about the different symbolisms that you see, the urn, the shroud, the upside-down torches, the flowers, the roses, the cabbage roses that are there. And we'll take a quick tour into the receiving tomb, which is a very tiny little structure. It's almost the size of a garage, but it's a catacomb look to it. So, and then when we come back to the center, the last part will be an actual Victorian funeral tea, and we're going to have traditional foods. Some of the recipes we found, old Victorian recipes, are raisin pie, prune cake, skull cookies, and then we're going to and as people are dining, we're going to have a musical tributes, and I have a wonderful friend and a talented singer, Marielle Pacific, and she's going to be singing some of the Victorian ballads and some of the great Victorian hymns, Abide With Me, Nearer to God, M.D., from the Titanic, because we do have a Titanic connection at Maple Grove. And just the song of Twilight is one of the great Victorian ballads. And then to kind of end it, we're going to have one of my board members, Henry Van Usen, is a trumpeter and also a math teacher, and he has volunteered to play taps. He's going to go out into the courtyard and play taps right above the cemetery. And then we're going to teach the people who come that there's beautiful words, lyrics to taps. And then we'll teach them that. And then I think we're going to ring the 1875 bell to end the day. So that's my vision of Victoriana Day, and I'm hoping everything comes well. And we're selling tickets, and we're inviting people to come and make reservations and send in their ticket money so we can reserve them a spot for that.
So I see here the number they can call is 347-878-6614. They can also email you at info@friendsofmaplegrove.org. That's friendsofmaplegrove, one word, .org.
Yes.
And
they'll leave a message. They just leave a message. They could just tell me their phone number and how many they want reservations that one. I'll call them right back, and then I'll tell them how to mail the check to the Maple Grove Cemetery, and we'll just reserve a spot for them, and I'll have a spot at this wonderful event that we're going to have.
Excellent. This sounds very good. I'll get the word out there, and
we appreciate it all as always.
And so, how's everything else going? How has it been? Good.
It's been good. I just wanted to make a little note because I heard Peter Ballone, and he was talking about the Queensboro Bridge, and you remember Civic Virtue, the statue that was in Kew Gardens, that kind of disappeared very quickly, and Peter Ballone was there at the rally too to talk about why is this statue leaving Queens. And it just so happens that I got Archway magazine, which is a magazine in Brooklyn Greenwood Cemetery, and that's where the statue went. It went to Brooklyn. It went to Greenwood Cemetery, and I opened it up, and here I'm looking at photographs, and they're uncrating the statue in Greenwood. And it was like, oh, it's in Greenwood. Yeah. So it was like, well, there was something else that Queens has lost. And I know they're going to do a beautiful job protecting it. And
sure, it's a beautiful, and
it's
nothing
a beautiful
against
place, Greenwood.
Nothing against Greenwood Cemetery. Yeah, I mean,
no, they're taking it, but I wish we had preserved it. I wish we had taken care of it, and maybe even dropped the ball on that a little bit. But it was sad to see the statue.
Sure.
And but Maple Grove, what I'm trying to do is with Maple Grove is, and I've been hearing it as we do more and more events. We have the Memorial Day musical tribute and prayer service that we're going to do coming up soon. And I've been hearing more and more people say, "Oh my God, Maple Grove is becoming a little cultural center," and that's what I wanted it to become. And I want it to be a mini version of the great things that Greenwood Cemetery does for Queens. And so I think it's slowly happening, and I'm just very excited about that. And you just win one person at a time, and then they find out that we have a wonderful place to go to in Queens.
Well, I'm real glad to hear that, and I think you're doing great things over there, and we'll spread the word, and we'll see. I think unfortunately that day we have an event with the NYPD. All day long, so I think we'll have to miss this one, but we will. Well,
there's many more coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no.
Look for our calendar. It's on the website, as he said, www.friendsofmaplegrove.org. We have a whole year calendar up there.
Excellent. All right, my friend. Well, listen, I want to thank you for calling. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And
thank you, Ed.
And we'll talk again soon.
Take care and good night. Take care.
Bye bye. That's Carl Balanis, and yeah, they're doing great things over there. And like you said, we lost Civic Virtue to Greenwood Cemetery, and here we have something being built, up right here. I mean, think how great it would have been. They could have taken that statue directly right across the street. Right across the street, they could have taken that and not carted that thing all the way to Brooklyn. Kept it here in the borough, but you know what? wasn't meant to be, but I think what they're doing there at that cemetery is going to be have very, very long lasting effects. So let me move on to the